Hey, business building warrior. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Silent Sales Machine Radio, the podcast that typically features interviews with the successful students of our training programs. Students who've gone through the proven Amazon course, for example, or through our coaching program. There's links to both of those at silentjimdotcom. Today, I'm going to bring on a guest in just a moment. If you've been familiar with our show for a while now, you'll probably recognize this guy. Little interesting background before I bring him on here. We've been working together in e-commerce for over 20 years at this point. That's right. We've run the longest running e-commerce coaching program in the world, over 20 years. Pretty incredible. We've had almost 10,000 coaching students at this point go through our program. So many incredible stories. Can't even keep track of the connections and the opportunities that have sprung from the business that God has blessed us with. And we're proud of what's been built, not in an arrogant way, but in a way that says, look what God has done through a group of humble leaders who aren't looking for attention for themselves, but they're looking for results for their clients. That's what we do all day, every day around here. We've built a big stage. Hundreds of leaders have emerged from our community. We've got 60 coaches right now. Many of them are going to be presenting at our upcoming live event. Nate and I have very small roles to play as far as presenting content in front of this community. This podcast is a rare exception for me. I like to keep you up to date on what's going on around here, bring some of our successful students in front of you. But the real work is done behind the scenes. Our 60 coaches, our content creators, our moderators, the consultants on our team that are helping our clients and customers. There's over 100 of us that make up that entire team. And Nate's the guy that's been with me for the longest as far as a leadership role. And he's got a perspective that I want to dive into today with you about our upcoming live event. Speaking of live events, the longest running Amazon seller conference in the world, to our knowledge, is the upcoming Proven Conference. And that's what I'm going to talk to Nate about a little bit today, because he's been to every one of them. And there's a good handful of people actually who have been to every single one of them. This is going to be our biggest. We've rented a massive ballroom in Orlando, Florida. All the details are at theprovenconference.com. There'll be a link in the show notes. You can jump over there and see this episode and find the link. There may still be some tickets available. Hopefully, there will be. We've got, like I said, a pretty big room. We can get 800 plus people into this room, and we're at about 740, 750 right now. So there's possibly still some slots as you're hearing this. But one of the things I want to emphasize is all this momentum, all this energy, all these successful students gathering and descending on Orlando, Florida later this month. What can they expect? We got a lot of new people. Maybe this is the first time you've ever been to one of our events. We're going to tell you what to expect. Maybe you're considering coming still, haven't bought your ticket yet. Hopefully, there's still some out there and you can come join us. We'd love to have you join us if you can. Or get the live stream. It is a ridiculous deal that we have for you on the live stream. There's 50 breakout sessions at this event, right? Large conference room, multiple breakout rooms for multiple sessions. We're going to talk about some of the different topics that Nate and I are excited about. We didn't have time to go through the whole list. There's 50 of them, but we'll give you the general idea. For a dollar per session, for less than $1 per session, you get all the event recordings if you lock it in before the event happens. Once the event starts, the price of live stream and recordings shoots way up. We like to reward people for getting in early around here. That way we know you're paying attention and you jump on it when we say, hey, we got something for you. We want people to be paying attention. So if you're paying attention, you're going to get a steal this year. So go to theprovenconference.com, look at all the sessions and all the speakers and think to yourself, would I pay a dollar per speaker to hear all these incredible creative people? And here's what they all have in common. They've built beautiful businesses using the strategies we teach on this podcast and in our content and in our courses. So these aren't experts we've brought from the outside who have written a book or have a course to sell. No, these are students from our community who have built beautiful businesses using the training that you hear right here on this podcast every time you listen. That's who we put on stage. Real people being transparent, telling you what works, what doesn't work, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the good, the bad, the ugly, the triumph. It's designed to encourage you and to leave you thinking, okay, if he can do it, and she can do it, and they and them, and that person over there, and that person there, and all these people in the crowd, they can all do it over there, and that group of people, they're all doing it. I think maybe I can do it too. That's the power of this event, is being in a room of a bunch of people who have done it, along with a bunch of other people who are trying to do it. And we'd love to have you be a part of it. So that's the theme of the conversation that Nate and I have today. And I'll bring him on here in just a moment, and we'll talk through and we reminisce a little bit. There's plenty of good tips and info for you as well. We give a bit of an overview about what all we have to offer around here, as well as part of the show today. So the design of this today is to, one, encourage and equip you for success, maybe talk you out of doing some stupid things that maybe you're considering doing, and to bring you into a community of people who are doing it the right way all day, every day, as evidenced by just a huge crowd of people who have beautiful businesses, and they can't wait to tell you about it, talk about it, share what they know. There's a few things that make this community different than anything else I've ever seen out there, and it's by design. One is this is a no fluff zone. We don't just have idea of the week. Hey, you know what? I think we could sell a lot of this course. When AI came out, everybody had an AI course to sell you. Do you remember that? We didn't, because there was no evidence that anybody was making money doing anything with AI except selling how to make money with AI courses. So we didn't jump on that bandwagon, right? People will come out with drop ship courses. Hey, you can make $1 million drop ship. I'll show you how to do it. You don't have to buy any inventory. So everyone gets all excited about drop shipping. Problem is, there's nobody out there making any money with drop shipping except the people selling the courses. Everyone else is getting suspended and banned and shut down and frustrated and never make any sales, have a million listings that don't do anything. Right. So we don't teach the stuff that is shiny and easy to sell. We teach the stuff that's working well for the students that we already have. That's the theme around here. It's a big difference. And we also have an abundance mentality, meaning we see more opportunity out there than we can ever possibly tap into ourselves. We'd love to share as much of it with you as you want to sit down and listen to us talk about, and then you can pursue it and share it with others. An abundance mindset, right? Rising tide raises all ships kind of mindset. So if you like those kind of themes, you like those kind of ideas, I could go on and on about it. This event, this community, that's the kind of people you want to be around. Show me the kind of people you're hanging out with, I'll show you your future. And if that's the kind of people that you want to resonate with, man, come hang out with us. Orlando, Florida, May 23rd through 25th. Nate and I are going to talk about that in just a minute. I got a free offer for you right now. You may have heard me say this before. You may have it already. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out the Silent Sales Machine book. It's in version 11 right now. It's been updated multiple times since I first wrote it over 20 years ago. It's sold over 1 million copies. 1 million people have paid for a copy of this, but we're giving it away right now. The latest updates, go to silentjimdotcom slash free11, FREE, the number 11, 1. And that will get you all the details on getting a free copy of that book. 100% free. There's no shipping snag in there. Like, oh, you're going to ask me for $9 shipping, aren't you? No, we just want to give it to you so you can begin to understand what's been built here, the three e-commerce strategies that we've identified that are legitimate. Every opportunity you'll ever see online falls into one of those three categories. We go into it and we talk about where you should start. Or if you have a business and you have something that's kind of working, what should you do next? This book is designed to give you a big push in the right direction. And it's all about strategies that work, that have been time tested and proven with multiple people in our community who are there to help you with any of it. It's a great book. It's going to get your mind right. Based on the 20 plus years of having coached almost 10,000 people, we've learned a few things about e-commerce around here. We'd love to challenge your thinking to motivate you in a new direction, possibly. All right, let's jump over and get Nate on the line. Enjoy this conversation. We didn't have a script. We just said, hey, Nate, I just texted him a couple minutes before we did it. And I said, we need to let people know about the conference, tell them what to expect. Now that we've done this 11 times, this is our 12th. Let's have a conversation and fill people in. So we jumped on and we hit the record button. Enjoy this conversation. We'll have another episode for you very soon. If your first time listening, most of our episodes, like I mentioned, are interviews with the successful students who are following the content we teach. But meet a great leader on our team who's been with me a while, knows a lot about the industry, and let's talk about our upcoming event. Hopefully, you can join us by either live stream, which gets you all the recordings as well, for less than $1 a session, or show up in Orlando. We'd love to have you there, be part of the event. Talk to you soon. So welcome back, Nate. Good to see you again, man.
Hey, Jim. How's it going, man?
So blessed, dude. This event is coming at us fast though, and I thought, man, we need to crank out an episode just to let people know what they're gonna miss if they're not on board yet. So let's
Mhm.
just go down memory lane. We haven't taken a lot of notes for the preparation today, but man, what's in store for people who commit to come into this event maybe for the first time?
Oh, the conference? Oh, man, I explain it to people where it's like, you're not gonna this is not like a business conference. It's like one of the ways to explain it is like it's like Facebook in real life. If you're in some of these Facebook groups and then you see a lot of people coming in and you're gonna be able to it's like Facebook in real life, you start to put, a face to the name, but you're gonna meet people that are going to inspire you. They're going to inform you. Like if you're trying to build a serious Amazon business, you have to surround yourself with people that have serious Amazon businesses. And there are people that come to this. What is this? Our 14th year, Jim? 13th
This
year?
is number 12
13, number 12? I
or
forget how
13.
many. I mean, after 12 times, it's like it's crazy, but like every time, these people come back over and over and over again. And what's cool is these people are as willing to give as they are to receive. It's just it's a huge accumulation of like-minded people. And like, I think every business, I don't care how long you've been around, you're missing pieces of the puzzle. That's just what business is. It's, continuing to put pieces of the puzzle in place. It's those relationships that you connect to, especially at this conference, that are going to put pieces of the puzzle in your business together for you,
Yeah.
right? With you. And it's amazing the power of relationship. And what's cool is that the people that come to this event, Jim, they're people that can be trusted. That's the one thing that I've noticed. We talk about how there's more hugs than handshakes because it's like a big
Right, right.
family reunion of business owners and not only in the Amazon space but in e-commerce in general. And every year this as this business evolves, we bring something new to the table that people are implementing and really really taking off with. Like last year, we kind of introduced our branded bundles method, and I've talked to I think over 100 sellers now that have put the branded bundles model in place. It's working great for them. They're getting results. But this is some of these new things that we're discovering. A lot of times we're going to introduce those things to you at the conference where you can see it firsthand. Some of these things you're able to touch, hear, feel, see, in real life. And, and what another thing too, Jim, just to kind of finish on this note, like so much of what we do in our business that leads to success revolves around belief. If you can believe it true, but I can tell you this: if you're in a room with 1,000 other people and a vast majority of those people are having great success doing what you want to do, and you can talk to them and you can realize they're really no different from me. All they're doing is they've just got a few more pieces of the puzzle in place, and now I can congregate with them. That belief skyrockets because, a lot of times I've said it, like if you look at me, I don't claim to be Einstein. I'm not the smartest guy in the room usually, right? That's how you know if you're in the right room. But like the people, like if I can do it, you can do it. If they can do it, you can do it. And it's that belief that seeing is believing, and being in that room with all those people that you can see are getting the results and they're all talking about it. We're all sharing. It is a fantastic way to elevate not only your belief in your business, but to create some structural procedures and ideas that, like I said, put the puzzle pieces in place.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to connect three of the themes I just heard you say with an observation about the event. You're talking about relationships, you're talking about trust, you're talking about belief, right? Why is it you can trust us at this event? Well, this event, to my knowledge, is the only one that's done the way we do it. And that's a point of emphasis for me that feeds into that belief and relationship model. Everyone you're going to be exposed to at our event on stage, speaking and presenting, we got a couple new sponsors in the mix. So I don't want to say everyone, but pretty much everyone, especially if they're from our team, a leader, a coach on our community, they've come up through this community. They started off as clueless newbies 3 years ago, or let's say, bought the proven Amazon course, started seeing some results, got excited, got into coaching at some point, started building a real business, had this just love of people, this teacher's heart. We promoted them into some role of creating content or some other role on the team. And now you've got a room full of, we could have an event just for those people and we'd have a few hundred people show up, right? So we've got those people that we can draw talent from. And you and I can kind of step into the background a little bit, doing this for 20 years and say, here's our life work. And it's kind of cool to think, Nate, that you wouldn't even have to show up and neither would I. And it would take a while for anyone to notice because we've got all these great leaders in place who've achieved these incredible things and we can't take credit for it.
No.
If we can take credit for anything, I think it's having repelled the wrong people, sometimes painfully, sometimes we do it naturally. And what you're left with is these incredible people who succeed with teachers' hearts. And so now you've got an environment where the themes you hit, trust, belief, relationships, can foster.
Mhm.
And the people you're talking to in the hallway. And we've got several hundred people. This will be their first event. But you said, family reunion. Yeah, we got hundreds of people like this is their eighth time they've been or their 10th time. We've got plenty of people. They've been to every single one of these.
Yeah.
So that should be a testament to something, and we don't toot our own horn around here a whole lot, but the longevity of what's been built here in e-commerce in dog years, we're ancient, man. Like we've been doing this for 20 plus years. This is the longest running Amazon seller conference in the world.
Mhm.
Right? I had someone challenge me on that the other day, Nate, and they're like, "I'm gonna go look it up. I'm not sure. I think these guys have been doing it longer." Like they came back like, "Nope, they've only been doing it 8 years. You guys are still the winner." It was one of our sponsors that challenged me on it. We Googled it real quick to just make sure I wasn't misspeaking. But yeah, man, just I'm proud of what we've built, not from an arrogance way, but from a look what God has done through us
Oh,
lens.
think about how many people that you know of that are in our or the community. I hate to say our community because we're just part of the movement.
Yeah.
We don't own anything. We're just part of this great movement uh,
Stewards.
and stewards of it. Yeah. But how many people do you know of that have met at this conference or met in our community this way, and now they have an unbelievably like amazing, thriving business together, all because they were connected
Mhm.
at this conference? I
Mhm,
mean,
and
how
you
many do
make
you
that
know of?
circle even more interesting, that's a group of people, let's draw a circle on them, amazing because of what they've seen and experienced, and they've built something beautiful. Let's just talk about the families that are making an extra 500 or $1,000 a week now, and
Yeah,
it's changed the trajectory of their family. There's
it's
less
cool.
stress in the home. A lot of those problems are now just checks they gotta write. Financial stress is lowered. They've got something they're doing together, building it together. We've been saying lately that I think a lot of what we have accomplished over these 2 decades is we've saved a lot of marriages, right?
Huh,
Like, an extra $1,000 a week, yeah, that goes a long way. Not everyone's trying to shoot for the moon and launch a name household brand product, right? We got a
mm,
lot of those people who are just saying, "Hey, you know what? This is flexible. It fits into my lifestyle. I'm building a legitimate business. I'm building an asset that my kids can be involved with.
mhm,
Beautiful." And yeah, so I'm just as proud as those stories as well. Now we're talking about an even bigger circle
mhm,
of people impacted. And it's just like you said, it's great to be in a room full of people that have experienced it or want to experience it. The validation, the credibility that's there. Just you look to your right, you got a guy doing 7 figures a month. You look to your left, a brand new person who's trying to decide if they want to do this or not. And you strike up a conversation and all three of you benefit, right?
mhm.
And it's a great environment.
It's to me, Jim, it's a little overwhelming that over the last 20 years of doing this with you, because of you and everything that we've been involved with. I think about how many people that I actually know. It's a little bit overwhelming to me just because to stay on top of it and all these relationships on a daily basis. And I wish that for other people to be in that zone where they have so many relationships and there's so many opportunities just right there that it's what you've referred to it as is it's like the value buffet. And in most marketing, circles that I've been in, they talk about the value ladder, taking your customers up a value ladder.
Mhm.
And I think what you've created and really innovated is the value buffet. And I feel like that's what the conference really is, because it's taking everything that we do and bringing it into one place for 3 days. And how many breakout sessions? How many
And we're
different
we're at
topics?
50. We are
Crazy.
maxing out this facility, and I tell you, it was a leap of faith, man. When I signed that contract in blood a while back, I was like, "This is a huge facility. This is a lot of money. We better have a lot of people show up," and they have. And
Mhm,
you're gonna be there. I mean, we just blew past 740, 50, something like 750, I think,
mhm,
registered with a month out. by the time
Mhm.
people hear this, there's only a couple weeks for them to make a decision to attend. But we've got live stream as well, which I probably mentioned in the
Yeah.
introduction as well. But yeah, there's very few events with the longevity and the creativity and the momentum. And I feel like we're just getting bigger and better every year. Yeah, we've never done 50. When we the first several years we did this, we were all in one big room for 2 days. It was like 10 sessions, right? Five
Mhm.
one day, five the next.
Mhm.
We're doing 50 sessions at this thing. I mean, we've got everything. Let's talk about some of the
Highlight
topics.
highlight the topics that I mean, that people are gonna learn about at the event.
Yeah, just off the top of my head, man, I don't have the list in front of me. I could easily pull up the website. Anybody can go there. Theprovenconference.com is the site. So, of course, Amazon. I'd say we're about 60% Amazon related content in some form or fashion because they are still the gorilla in the room. They're still half of all transactions online any given day in the United States, right?
Mhm.
They're the monster. That's the low hanging fruit opportunity of our lifetimes. And we fully believe we're all in on that. But here comes Walmart. Interesting. We got some people doing really well. My team texted me last week and said, "Hey, you realize we've done $4,400 net margin without trying just by sending some of our popular Amazon stuff over to Walmart." I'm like, cool. We got a new
Mhm.
course coming. We got panel discussions on Walmart, right? We got someone coming. I'm locking them in right now. Hopefully, we can get it tied down. Talking about TikTok, like that's off the wall. But hey, there's opportunity there. You learn a few basics. You got some product you can sell at bulk. Yeah, there's some opportunity on TikTok, right? We've got people talking about bundles, of course, which is an
Mhm.
Amazon related topic that you've
Well,
already introduced. We got
it's
people
not
doing
just Amazon.
consulting, building the agency model,
Yeah.
right? Where you just
That
help brand. You don't have to sell anything. You just help other brands sell on Amazon. That can be a business very quickly. And I would say
that's
95% of
one
the people
I'm
listening to this show are qualified to do that business.
yeah, that's one I'm really spending a lot of time myself in my own business with because
Right.
once you develop these skills, you can now make money with what's in your brain as opposed to having to continually sell a physical product to generate an
Mhm.
income.
Mhm.
I've landed a few, what's amazing? I just landed a new one. I'm not going to give it away, but what I do is I'll take coaching students and, once they're at that place where they're ready for, to do the proven product partnering method, I'll bring them into that and let them manage it and let them kind of move on to running the whole thing and managing it and help them do that. I think that right there, that strategy in and of itself is something that you can do to make a full-time income just doing that. And
Oh, we've
I'm
got plenty of people that do.
yeah, I'm making six figures just doing that, Jim.
Yeah, on
Just
as a side gig. Yeah, and
just
there's more business than you can possibly and
oh,
here's the beauty too, I wanna remind people, we pointed this out on the panel we had recently, where as Amazon makes life a little more difficult to deal with them, like, "Oh, there's more rules, there's more fees, there's more regulation." Brands are saying, "You know what? Okay, Amazon, I know I need you in my life, but you're a pain in the butt. I just need someone to take this over. I don't wanna mess with this." Brands are increasingly saying that. It's not getting easier to work with Amazon if you're a brand, it's getting harder. But those of us who buy and sell on the platform all day, every day, like, yeah, I can help this brand in my sleep. I know
yeah,
things that they'll
they run
never
into
know.
one problem, Jim. They run into one problem and they're like, okay, I'm not qualified. I
Right.
just had that happen, and we just signed a client on for $23,000 this week
And they're glad to do it because they don't have to worry about it. Turn it over to someone who knows what they're talking about.
there's
Yeah,
going to be a lot of work to do on it, but I
of
mean,
course.
it's a massive value that I'm providing. But that's how much demand there is. There's a company out there actually that will go, okay, I see what you've done for these guys. I want you to do that for me. Give me a bid quote, and you write it up for $23,000. And they didn't even bat an eye. They were like, great, good deal, absolutely, plus a 15% revenue share. So that
Yeah.
model's good. But think about this: the arbitrage model, right? What are the newest, greatest things going on in terms of replens that you're going to learn about that? What are the greatest, newest trends and things happening for wholesale, right? If you're looking to evolve up into wholesale. And
Yep.
what's cool is you get in that room where we're doing a session about wholesale, and now you're meeting other people. What are you doing? Oh, you got a supplier, you got a contact, you got a this, that, liquidation, this, you know what I'm saying? And so it's not just the content and the things you'll be learning there, but it's the people that you're going to meet there that are going to open up doors of opportunity. And that's the cool. That's why you can trust the people in our community, is because they're not just someone talking about it online that
They're
slid in
doing it.
DMs on Facebook. They're
Mhm.
people that are actually doing it, that are right there, right in front of you. And I would say 99.9% of all those people that come to this event that are the type of people that we attract, they want to share. They live in this world of abundance. It's
Right.
all minded people. And that's
Right.
the one thing I think is beautiful is like, I don't care what you do in this business, there's going to be something for everybody.
Yeah, and you talked about
Even
mindset
kids.
earlier, how important that is, and I've learned after a period of time, we talk about abundance and we talk about, sharing your success and you're not among competitors. Well, that is a very grating, hard to hear message for a certain personality type, and we end up driving them kinda nuts and they just go away. Like,
Yeah.
what's all this positivity? I can't stand it. I need more negativity. I
Yeah.
don't know how that works for in life. I don't know how that where that takes you ultimately. It's not a good place, but those
Mhm.
people feel repelled by our community. There's just so much positivity. Even the people who are kind of like, yeah, I've been struggling a little bit, but this happened and I met that person and I got a new best friend and I finally started making some money on this and they find a positive way to be grateful
Mhm.
and people want to be around them and those problems start getting solved. So we repel just as important as attracting those abundance minded people. We kind of repel the negativity because it's just so annoying for them to hear all the positive. Like that's one of the reasons I love our podcast, our
Mhm.
philosophy on our podcast. This episode is an exception, but of the 800 plus episodes we've recorded, 90% of them are interviews with successful students. And like you
Mhm.
said earlier, Nate, if I can do it, yeah, you should be able to as well. It's kind of a
Mhm.
theme of hundreds of podcast episodes. It's hard to be negative when you're getting hit in the face with that all day, every day from our community, right? And
Energy
the
at
live
this
experience just propels it forward faster. It's like 3 months of podcast listening condensed into 3 days. The
Yeah.
power and the impact of it.
It's an energy. It's like a total vibe, like, of people. I've had so many people come to me and say, "Man, just all these people and just everything that's going on, like, I am high on the energy of
Yeah,
this." That's what I feel makes it different, our conference from anything else that's out there is, that positive energy that you talk about, Jim, all those
mhm,
like-minded people that come together all at once. And that's, in my mind, what it's always been since the first one that we did to this one too. It's
yeah,
all an amazing energy of, I'm like the build up to it to going, I know what to expect and I'm excited for it just because, man, I get to give that person a hug again and see
yeah,
this
yeah,
person and that. And oh man, I can't wait to hang out with that person and go to lunch with this person. And I mean, this is like a family cultured thing, right?
mhm,
And
yeah,
speaking of
yeah.
family culture, one of the things is bringing your kids out to this event.
Oh,
I can't tell you
100%.
how many 14-year-old kids I've met that were brought to this event that I've after this conference get on a call with them, give them a free coaching session with their parents, help them to get going because this is a great family business run. You talk about how many of marriages that we probably saved or whatever. I know mine is way better because of this. We come to find out that my wife is way smarter about how to do all this stuff than I
Oh,
am,
she's incredible. Yeah,
right?
and the
And
wisdom that my wife brings into it, we never would have discovered these things if we just didn't went the traditional corporate career, go to the business, climb the corporate ladder, come home at night tired and see each other for a little bit. Like,
yeah,
God bless you if that's your model, but man, I sure like this model of discovering where my wife's strengths and weaknesses are, where mine are. That's one thing entrepreneurship will do. It'll expose all your strengths and all your
mhm.
weaknesses, and they'll be out there for everyone to see, right? On
So
full
so
display. But you tackle it as a family, and there's this incredible dynamic. So yeah, bring your kids, get them involved. That's
if
the
they're
beauty
under
of it.
16, right? If they're under 16, right, kids are free.
It's on the website. I can't remember what it is exactly, but yeah, if they can
But if
sit
they're over
quietly,
16,
basically
you
bring
gotta
them.
get a ticket, but if they're under 16, then yeah, that's I love fostering this whole family business, and not only that, but this young entrepreneur thing, because it's amazing. I have one that came to our conference years and years ago, and now he's 20, 21 years old, and we still talk and work together, and he's killing it. He's still crushing it.
Yep.
And I can't claim any responsibility for his success, right? But I love being a part of the story of it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of young entrepreneurs in our community really, really doing well because what we teach is not hard. I mean, there's so many, fast buck operators out there that, oh, I'm going to show you the greatest strategy that you've ever seen for generating wealth and income. And, check out my Lamborghini and, all that whole weird guru stuff. And we literally just say, nope, no, let's just here do the easy stuff. Here's the low
Yeah.
hanging fruit, and it's not complicated. But what they teach is going to take you a very long time to figure out. It's going to take you years to learn. And more than likely, most people that try that stuff fail at it,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Where
what we
what we
identify. I
teach
think that's the
people,
heavy lifting we do is we identify and prove out. That's why we call it the proven conference. We've proven and tested everything we're going to show you. There's a bunch of people it's already working for, and it's going to scale. It's not something that just works for two or three lucky people. Like, no, this can scale. The internet opportunity, e-commerce opportunity is getting bigger in this arena. More people can come in, a lot more people can come in. Amazon's made more millionaires than any other company in world history, right? So that's what we gravitate towards. Like, okay, let's go where the big opportunities are. But I love what you were starting to do there, and I want to go a little deeper on it, where we're kind of contrasting what we do here with some other things. Not that we're bigger, we're better, none of that. That here's how we're different. Okay, like you and I attended last year in Seattle. We went to the Accelerate conference, right? A lot of positive things to say about the experience, but I found myself looking up over my shoulder at the back of the room, and every word and pause was scripted, right? Like the speakers
okay.
on stage, it's like, they were being coached what to say, when to say it, the timing, oh,
Oh
you're
yeah.
you're slowing down, you need to speed up, you got to keep it on schedule. Like this isn't that, right? And then the culture that was there, the vibe that was there, there's a lot of people sitting there with their arms crossed, like, yeah, I can't make up my mind about this whole thing, right? And the energy was manufactured a little bit. I mean, okay, light show, fog machines, balls bouncing around. Okay, loud music, DJ up there with them. We don't do that. The energy at our event is for people who are excited about what's happening in their life. We don't have to dim the lights and start a fog machine and shoot lasers through the crowd to get people up and excited, because they're excited to be there, to be around family, like you said, to be around people who are doing it, openly answering questions without any script or any, teleprompter on the back wall, right? And I see the value in those other kind of events. I see the value in bringing experts from different fields from all over the world with their books to sell and their courses to pitch to an event. Like, I'll go to some of those. This isn't that. This is
Yeah.
real people building real businesses. The only time they're on stage all year, the vast majority of our speakers, this is true. The only stage they've ever been on is in front of you, which means they're a little nervous, but we're
Yeah.
all family. It's all good.
Yeah.
Hold your microphone a little closer to your mouth, please. Like we say that the whole event.
It's real.
Yeah, because it's
That's
real
the thing.
people.
That, and I think, Jim, I think, that was what attracted me to you. What was different, I had all these great opportunities when we first met, right? And I kind of pushed those aside specifically to work with you because you were real. You weren't, writing ad copy that was like, oh wow, this is going to really psychologically make people, engage with us. What makes people engage with you, Jim, is the realness, the authenticness. And that's the one thing about this conference is that it's authentic. It's not going to be go to the back of the room and buy something. In
No, we don't
fact,
do that.
we don't pitch anything at the event,
Yeah.
right? That's not really what our goal is. But one of the cool things that we're doing, and I think we've got it completely full right now. I don't know if there's any spots left, but we have a workshop that we're doing 2 days before the event with Brian and Robin Olson. If you haven't looked at the Keep a Sourcing training that they've put together that's in the Proven Amazon course, you
It's
really need to
incredible.
look at it. But we're doing a workshop 2 days before the conference that it's our 100 ASIN Path to 100 ASIN workshop. If you haven't got 100 ASIN, good high-end performing ASINs in your account that meet a solid criteria of profitability, you might want to look into that. We do not do like well, we're going to record this and make a video course of everything. No, it's a live thing.
It's
It's hands,
workshop. It's interactive. Yeah.
very small group thing. You may want to look into that. The Path to 100 ASINs, Jim. You can put that link in this podcast.
Yeah. I'll
Uh,
stick the link in there. We may have to have people
so
sign up for it. We're going to do it again in the
I,
fall.
I don't know. I think we might have got it completely full. I don't know if there's a few
Last I
spots.
looked, there was one spot. So it's probably full by the time people hear this, but we'll be doing it again. And that's
Yeah,
certainly something where you can talk to the people who have experienced it and say, hey, what'd you think? Because we've done it at
we
this point. We will
we
have done it two
turned
times.
out. What's amazing is the last one that we did. Out of that, two people that were newer to the whole concept of it now have actually become coaches now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's how I kind of gauge and measure what we're teaching is a really successful principle, not based on my results, because I'm going to get different results from you. You know what I'm saying? You are not me. I'm not you. Right. And so it's kind of tough to compare. But when you're teaching somebody something and then the student becomes the teacher,
Mhm.
yes, know you've got a winning concept. And
Now
that's
we're on to something, and we can do that. We can replicate it a handful of times. We're like, all right, it's time to bring a few more people in on this one, right?
and
And
that's the beauty of the conference,
yeah,
because the concepts that we taught, like I did the proven product partnering course, right? Years back. It's still very relevant, still very up to date. But I'm not going to be the one teaching those sessions at the conference. There are people that have helped pioneer that, learned it, worked with us on it to help pioneer it. They're going to be teaching that. John
and ran
Bricker,
further than we ever dreamed
John
we
Stover,
could.
yeah,
And that's our
Leanna
teachers,
Leanna Krucko is going to be teaching the branded bundle. She's
right?
been doing it as long as I have, if not longer, and she's amazing. Is Carl Jacoby's going to be there
Yep,
as
wholesale.
about
Yep.
wholesale? I mean,
I mean,
all of these
tens of
concepts.
millions of dollars in wholesale sales.
Oh yeah. So, the great thing about it is that the people, the leaders involved in teaching these concepts, you know, they aren't guru types. They're very approachable. You're going to
Mhm.
be able to meet them in person, talk to them, become friends with them, start to build relationships with them, start to build businesses with them. That's where it evolves. And then once you start building businesses, then we tie in more as family, and that builds that family culture, because I believe in business. Culture eats business strategy for breakfast, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
So,
it was especially with you because it becomes infectious. It becomes part of who you are. A
yeah.
strategy is something you do. Culture is part of who you are, who you're becoming, your trajectory in life. You've heard it said many times, many different ways, Nate. You and I say it all the time, but basically, show me the people you're hanging out with, and maybe the content you're consuming, and I'll tell you where you're going to be 5 years from now. It's not complicated. Is that circle of good people that are taking you in the right direction growing? If it is, that's good. Is the content you're consuming feeding that trajectory that you want to have?
Mhm.
Are you surrounding yourself with negativity or with abundance minded people, right? Like, which do you gravitate towards? The people over here in the corner grumbling about how terrible everything is, or the people over here saying, hey, you know what? I think I've got some ideas for solutions for this. And there's actually some opportunity in this opposition right now. Like, you want to be with those people. And if
Mhm.
that's you, this event, again, is a way to cram about 3 months worth of doing it right into 3 days.
Mhm.
And we very well could sell this event out. VIP is sold out. The pre-event workshop is sold out. We're about to fill up the biggest room we've ever used for this thing. It could sell out. So get the live stream if nothing else. But
Yeah.
certainly mark the dates for next year, which we'll be announcing pretty soon here with, about when the event happens. I hope to announce the dates for the next year,
Mhm.
2025. But whether it's this event or a local meetup, you need to be adding to that list of people that know, like, and trust you, that you know, like, and trust. That list needs to be growing. If you're an entrepreneur and that list isn't growing intentionally, steadily, constantly, you alluded to this earlier, Nate, like the list of people I now know, right? We call it the 3 a.m. list around here. The people you could call at 3 in the morning, they'd pick up their phone and say, oh, yeah, it's you. What do you need? I'll drop everything. I'll wake up, I'll get in my car, drive, hop on an airplane, send you money. What is it? What do you need? You want that list to be growing constantly. If that list is growing, you're an unstoppable force of entrepreneurship and opportunity.
Yeah, because it's all about relationships, business. At the end of the day,
100%.
y- you
That's
know,
why it was invented,
yeah.
right? That's
So,
my that's our
so
belief system. God gave us business for relationships. They're not
yeah.
some kind of nice cherry on the top. They're the entire purpose it was even invented, to make us interdependent on each other, to make us rely on each other and need each other.
Mhm.
That's what God wants. Just like when we have kids, we want our kids to kind of like each other, to lean on each other, to need each other as they go through life. They're not always going to have us as the parent. They're going to have each other. How beautiful it is to see them leaning on each other and to kind of specialize in different ways, but rely on each other. Like, that's what God wants. It
Mhm.
doesn't shouldn't surprise us. That's what He set up. He wants us relying on each other, not each off on our own little island, being left alone, getting what we want and need. That's not the way it's supposed to work. That's called torture.
Yeah. Well, another cool thing is the coaches are all going to be at this event. So if you've been thinking about, okay, I might be ready for a coach or looking at those options. Well, isn't it nice to be able to go somewhere and actually meet these coaches in person, get a
Mhm.
feel for what they're like and what you could be experiencing working one-on-one with the coach? They're all going to be there. You're going to
Yep.
be able to hang out with them. And what's cool about this is that there is no like standoffishness. It's like, oh yeah, come to dinner with us, come hang out. We're going to go out and do this. We're going to go out and do karaoke. And maybe if you're already in the coaching program, yeah, come hang out with us, and let's continue to go down the path of building and growing this relationship. Or building and growing trust, because business moves at the speed of trust. And
Absolutely.
there are these different levels, right? Like if you're, listening to the podcast, you're garnering some trust with us, right? But when you meet us in person, there's nothing better than, we call the different levels. Like an email is the lowest level, a text message is the next level, right? Like, a Zoom meeting is the next level, right? But there's nothing higher than meeting in person in terms of relationship building, trust building,
Yeah.
those aspects.
Yeah,
So,
there's a
you know,
10x improvement over the quality of the relationship building that happens. It'll take you 10 times longer to build a relationship with email versus a phone
yeah.
call. Phone call to Zoom where you see their face, 10x. Like it gets better and better. So you can
Mhm.
cover again. There's my 3 months, 3 days analogy. Right, in 3 days you can and you're not going to get to meet everybody there obviously, but you're going to have 10 or 15 high quality conversations, and of those you're going to have 20 or 30 great ideas, and of those 2 or 3 of them are going to change your life. And we've just seen it over and over and over and over again. Yeah. So I don't want to beat anyone up who can't be there. You can replicate this experience by just kind of wading into our community, get into the Facebook group, listen to some podcast episodes. Maybe some people, this is the first episode they've ever heard. We're not saying you have to come to this conference or we've really got nothing for you. We got all kinds of stuff for you, but once a year, when we do gather, it's a big deal. And we're kind
Mhm.
of right now feeling the energy of being, as we're recording this, a little less than a month out from this thing, and it's exploding. I mean, the sponsors who are saying, "Hey, I want to be a part of this. Oh, I didn't realize you guys were that big. Oh, you guys have been doing it that long." It's like, "Oh, how have I never been to one of these before?" We're hearing that from everywhere. So it's like this last little wave of momentum as we get into the final couple weeks here. Uh, but it's going to be an incredible event. It's something you simply have to experience. In our post-event surveys, this is telling. We didn't do one last year, I don't think, but most years we've done one, and it's never been less than 96% of the people said, "I will definitely be back." Right? I mean, that's pretty telling. You're looking for the proof. 96% of people saying, "I will definitely be back." That's good. So we're doing it right. I'm proud of how we're doing it. The prices are ridiculously low on this thing. We got a lot of scholarship people coming at no cost, thanks to our generous
Mhm.
sponsors. I'm so proud of that, man. I love seeing people who come to this event for free,
Mhm.
start growing a business, come back and say, "Hey, man, you guys are awesome. I want to bless a few people and pay for them to come next year." That's the
Mhm.
kind of people that we have at this event. Happens
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the sponsors and the vendors too. I mean, not only the opportunity to meet the coach, meet all these other successful people, but being able to talk to the owners of businesses, of softwares, of tools, of services that you've used, and to be able to
Yeah.
actually meet them and talk to them
Yeah.
and build a relationship with them as well.
Yep.
That
And some of
that's
them don't get out and do that much. Like, we got Scott Needham coming with Smart
oh,
Scout, right? We got the founder of Gatita coming. We've never had them as a sponsor before. They're big. Their service is completely free. Silentjim.com/reimburse is the link to Gatita, and silentjim.com/SS as in Smart Scout. That is a
mhm.
sharp dude, man.
Oh
He
yeah.
really knows his stuff. He's built a beautiful tool, especially I know Carl, you mentioned him earlier, doing the wholesale sourcing. He finds a lot of great opportunity using Smart Scout.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's the premier tool. I would say that Smart Scout is the premier tool for wholesale buying.
Mhm. And the
Finding
founder,
folks.
the guy that created the software is going to be there. He's gonna be he has a presentation with us, and like I said, he doesn't do that a whole lot to my knowledge, and we could go on and on. I mean, we've got a good number of sponsors there who are highly knowledgeable and accomplished, and
Mhm.
we've said no to several sponsors. I'm
Yeah.
saying no to a sponsor a day right now who wants to be there and wants to get in front of our audience. We're like, just not a good fit, man. You're not in alignment in one way or another. But it's the people that are there, they've got something to offer. The sponsors who are coming. So look over that list. It's at the bottom of the Proven Conference page, theprovenconference.com. Scroll to the bottom, see our sponsors. Some really good people coming from those companies.
Yeah.
Well, what else is on your mind, man? I think we did it justice. I know you got some calls coming up, and
I
I
got
got some other commitments wrapping heading my
I
way
got
as well. But
people blowing me up left and right now. It's Friday and
yeah,
there's lots going on right now.
I
Uh,
appreciate you
I,
hanging
I had
out with me, man. Any final
I had
thoughts
little
before we wrap
Deborah
this one
calling
up?
me just a second ago from the office needing some assistance. So I better get with her. But I love to serve, Jim. I love to serve with you. I can't wait to come to this conference. And if I've met you before, I get to hang out again. And if you've never met me before, please come. Me and Jim on purpose, we want to be the host of this thing. We're not, creating all these great presentations to be on the stage and present this. We're going to be available to hang out with you and meet with you. In fact, I think I'm only doing one session about what is a silent sales machine? What is the original concept of what we teach? What are these different strategies that we teach, and how can you integrate with them? And what does it all mean? So I'll be doing one presentation, I think, at night. Is that where we'll
Probably. We'll
be?
probably have you in the early evening session at some point.
Something
Yes,
like
people
that.
can take their
Something
time and
like
hang
that.
out and ask questions.
Yeah, and but I mean, I'm going to be available. I'm going to be there to hang out with you. Any questions you have, I want to hang out and answer it. Probably by the end of the conference, I will have lost my voice because I've been so, into
Yeah.
doing the serving. But I got to tell you, Jim, it is not like work to me. I
Yeah.
love this. I absolutely love it. I would coach people for free if I could. I would
I say the
absolutely.
reason we take money is so we know who's serious.
Well, there's that, you have to, someone has to have everyone has to have a fire lit under their seat,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And that's part of it. But, I love doing what I do because I know that if you follow through on what I can teach you, you're going to get the results and it's going to have an impact on your life. And for me, I mean, I can tell you this, there's no better feeling if you get out in the world and you can actually share something with somebody that changes their life, right? There is no better feeling than that. And you just want to do that over and over and over again for the
Yeah,
rest of your life.
it's addictive. We are both hopelessly addicted to creating success stories. It fuels us, and we've had the conversation many times. After 20 years, you ever got burnt out, ever got bored? Man, as long as people are lining up saying, "Thank you," and I mean, what you guys gave me for the price you charged, the ridiculously low price, the impact you guys had, it never gets old hearing that
Mhm.
from people. So, we're just getting started, brother. I love you, appreciate you, man. Can't wait to see you and the family and the crew, the whole crew from our
Yeah.
office in the West, right? Some people
Yeah.
don't realize like our team is spread out all over the world. So we don't get to see each other very often. But these 3 days are going to be a blur. We don't get to see each other much then either because it's just this blur of activity. But
Yeah.
man, great putting this episode together. Hopefully it benefits a lot of folks. But yeah, I'll let you get back to the office, man, and I'll wrap this one up.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Hey,
All right.
thanks. And yeah, if
Cool.
you're coming to the conference, come give me a high five. Let's hang out.
Absolutely. And for the listeners who've heard this show today, just let me remind you that this is an unusual episode. The vast majority of our shows are interviews with the successful students from the Proven Amazon course or our coaching community. If you want to get on our schedule, have a conversation with Nate or someone from the office or me, I'll take some of these calls from time to time, but
Oh
book
yeah.
yourself at silentjimdotcom/book a call. Grab a convenient slot. Let's have a conversation about your e-commerce hopes and dreams and where you're at and map a path forward. But on behalf of the whole team and my great buddy Nate, who's been with me for 2 decades in e-commerce, man, that's all so awesome. I'm proud of us, buddy.
Yeah, man.
God bless all the business building warriors. We'll have another great episode for you again very soon.